It's always the ones you don't have attraction for, the ones who develop feelings for you. Every damn time, without fail. Why the people you like don't like you back? Have you ever noticed that when you really seem interested in someone, they never reciprocate your feelings? But then on the other hand, have you ever noticed that when you have that kind of attitude of take or leave someone, then they are really interested in you? Isn't that sort of the ironic tragedy of dating? Are you one of those people who constantly wonders, how can I do to make this person look for me? What do I do to make him or her call me? What can I do to make that special person love me? How do I do to get that person I love so much and I need so much in my life to chase after me? Accept it. At some point, you and I have felt we were not attractive enough for that person who had stolen our hearts. If any of this is happening to you, then you got to the right place, because I will explain you exactly why that person that you like so much can't care less about you, and I will explain you 9 things that will make you absolutely magnetic. If you just practice or master at least one of these habits, you will become irresistible. My name is Tucci, welcome home, and the timestamps for this video will be down in the description box. People who are physically attractive do so much better in love because they have so much more chances to succeed. Well, I don't believe in this. At least I don't believe in this 100%. Because, usually we feel attracted to those people we find aesthetically pleasing. But that doesn't tell us anything about who that person really is. Being mentally attracted to someone is so much more stronger than being physically attracted to someone. You can't escape someone's mind even if you close your eyes. In a long-term relationship, mental attraction beats physical attraction every single day. Over the course of your existence, you've gotten a sense of what do you think about yourself. Ultimately, it's completely up to you whether you think you are attractive or not. People can say what they think about you, if they feel you are attractive or not, but in the grand scheme of things, that is totally irrelevant. You can opt to remind yourself daily of all your horrible defects, or you can decide to feel at peace with your appearance. We can be our worst enemies, or we can be our best mates. We choose which side we pick. We are all just bodies or vibration, or call it energy, call it whatever you want, but that's what we are. How you look doesn't really matter, because even if you look conventionally attractive, then you're gonna age, right? So all that conventional beauty won't last forever. The only thing that really counts is how you feel about the way you look and about the way you are. Yes, sure, good-looking people might grab more attention, but it's not about having all the eyes on you. It's about having the right eyes on you. Wanting to be the hottest person around is such an egotistical and self-centered way of living, whereas trying to go and find a long-term meaningful connection with someone special, it's a beautiful and humble approach to love. I will repeat this again, but in a long-term relationship, mental attraction beats physical attraction every single day. Just going after looks, it's like, opening a door that you think it will take you to someone exciting, and once you're in, you might get bored. But then imagine you open a door that is not colorful and flashy and tempting, but once you are in, you find this beautiful box of surprises. The mere physical attraction doesn't take you anywhere safe. Yes, pretty people can be great, but those perfect physiques can also hide dark, unentangled labyrinths that can have you trapped for years. Don't fall into the trap of just going after great physiques. Don't let your ego blind you and sink you. When you interact with people, try to see beyond the obviousness of if they look great or not. Pay attention to the small details. And that is what will guide you in the right direction of finding the right partner for you. Let me ask you something. Do you have a friend or do you know someone who it's cool, lots of fun, the kind of person who everybody wants to hang out with? They might not be the typical good-looking type, but man, they have something special. They have that spark, that charisma that draws you in. These people have tons of personality and make you curious to get to know them better. They are like a magnet, and because of this, they have more opportunities and more experiences in life, which ultimately brings them more happiness, and they become so much more interesting to talk to. You know what? At the end of the day, having a killer personality is all about having confidence in yourself, knowing what you want and who you are. That's what draws people in, not just looks. It's all about what's going on in our heads. If you think that in this video I will teach you how to be more muscular, how to style your hair, or how to nail your outfits, then you're completely wrong. What I'm sharing today goes beyond of what TV and social media usually preach about. This video has nothing to do with physical, but it has all to do with mental attraction. Okay, it's time to talk about desperation. Let's talk about wanting someone so badly that you cannot act normal when that person is around. Of course, we all have been there, right? But let me tell you that when you are desperate, it's so obvious. And it can turn almost any candidate off almost straight away. You are subconsciously idolizing this person. And with this, I mean you are putting that person on a pedestal without even realizing you're doing that. Deep down, you know that what you have to offer is not as amazing, as great as what they have to offer. You see them as too good to be true. And you feel like you really need to try super hard to finally win the big prize. You kind of think on strategies on what you can do. You try to figure out what that person likes, what it hates. So you do the things they like, don't do the things they hate. And it becomes on this kind of obsession to, be able to call that person attention, to be able to be loved by that other person. But chances are they don't even notice you. And even if they notice you, they may not feel the same about you. It's a messy situation because you know they are out of your league, but you are willing to do whatever it takes to catch that big fish. That, guys, that is low self-esteem. And you will love that person from the scarcity and not from your wholesomeness. Or let's put it this way, you will end up falling for that person because you are feeling that you are lacking something and not because of your own worthiness. You're trying to level up, but the person you are so deeply attracted to may not be willing to settle for less. And even if they do, it's because maybe they are bored or maybe they feel they have to. And then that relationship, it's not going to last long. You want to receive way more than what you have to offer. If that's your mindset, then that means that in that relationship, you are the loser. And losers just lose. I get it. You probably heard this a million times and you're bored of it and it sounds dull, but you need to become your best friend. Learn to like and love yourself. So then you are not out there desperately and obsessively begging for scraps of attention. I know I've been blunt about it, but honestly, sometimes you just got to face reality straight away if you want to make a change. Because it's facing reality what can help you, what can trigger you something so impactful that can help you get out of your mind trap. Unshakable inner confidence. The mindset of someone who is very insecure is absolutely reflected on their way of living. For example, insecure people are unable to say no. They constantly worry about the future. They see every single mistake as a permanent failure. Also, insecure people constantly need other people to be able to make decisions. These characteristics speak volumes about a person. Insecure people lack of self-love. So to have a winning mindset, you need to have self-esteem. Unshakable inner confidence, it's like having a superpower. You know what? This is what teachers should teach us in school, how to develop our confidence. But the good confidence, not the one that depends on external validation or achievements. The confidence that comes from the deep practice of letting go what others impose or say and embracing one's true self. Think of confidence like a big, strong tree, firmly planted in the ground of being okay with who you really are. When we let go of all those worries, doubts, and wanting other people to like us, that tree grows stronger. This kind of confidence, which is just feeling sure about who we are in the inside, stays rock solid no matter what is happening around us. You know, our value doesn't depend on what others think. And when I say this, I say it for compliments and also for criticism. Because, yeah, this idea of you shouldn't care about what others think always comes from when others criticize you. But also, sometimes people are in love, they are blind, and they will see us as perfect and amazing, and they might say amazing things to us, and we may become dependable on those great compliments, but that will just give us a fake sense of high self-esteem. So as much as we should not care much about others say when they say negative things about us, we need to also understand that amazing compliments do not define sometimes who we really are. Who we really are, we can only make that realistic analysis depending on our own personal experience and how do we feel. So when others criticize us and they throw negative comments to us, when we stop doubting ourselves, that's exactly when our confidence shines out. People are drawn to us not because we are arrogant or not because we are bragging, but just because we are being real and comfortable with ourselves. It's like having a quiet confidence that naturally draws others towards us because they can sense we are honestly true to ourselves. People can sense the charming vibe of someone who is totally in sync with themselves. When someone is not pretending to be anyone else, and when someone is not pretending to be living someone else's life, you can notice that miles away. And sometimes it's not even something you noticed, it's something that you cannot see, but you can feel it. You can feel that person gives me such peaceful vibes because that person is absolutely synchronized. And yes, it produces or releases that kind of vibration of absolute balance. Indifference, it's a waste of time and it's a childish, immature game. Okay, let me explain you what I'm talking about. I heard this the other day and I could not be more against it. So the statement I heard said something like this. People are making a fundamental mistake when it comes to dating and attraction. The mistake is that generally folks treat the people they are attracted to different from the people they are not attracted to. What really works is the indifference. Indifference creates all this mystery and all this obsession of, I want to know more about that person. It's that take it or leave it attitude that increases attraction. You have to be like, yeah, they are nice. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. And yeah, there's probably someone better out there. That apparently, that is the attitude to have someone crazy for you. You spend time with them, great. But if not, you don't care. Like, what the fuck? This feels so forced. Like, imagine liking, loving someone and having to be there pretending you don't care at all. That's just frustrating. Listen, I'm a mom and I completely understand that my toddler behaves like that. Sometimes she gets really mad at me because, let's say, she wants a chocolate bar or something and I say no. At that point, she starts, after the madness, after the tantrum, she acts really indifferent towards me. It's like, I don't like you, just leave me alone. I'm there, trying to get her to calm down, to, I'm trying to make her feel better. And when I'm like, well, nothing is helping, I stand up, I'm kind of leaving the room, and then she comes behind me crying, and she's like, Mommy, hug me, please. And yes, all this coming from a 2.5 years old girl is absolutely fine, because toddlers don't have the right tools to process emotions, so they have these explosions and then they act indifferent when what they really want is your hugs and your love. But let's just put this in a real life adult scenario. Imagine A likes B, but A plays a I am all indifferent game to B. Then A sees B leaving the place. And then at this point, two things can happen. A is there all extremely sad because B left. Or A calls B asking him or her, why did you left like that? Why you left me alone? What on earth has happened? And blah, blah, blah. All this is such an immature dynamic. And please, let's not confuse this. I don't think people who do this are bad. Not at all. I've seen these hysteria games being played by adults a million times. But even though it's common, it's immature. And these games never lead to healthy dynamics in relationships. Hysteria is a toxic pattern. So, do you want to know why people play these hysteria games? Because people are absolutely afraid of being rejected. And you need to be rejected because that's just life. It happens to all of us. Be humble, take rejection as much as you take acceptance. You are not the best thing ever, and you are not the worst person ever. But yes, all in all, playing this all I'm indifferent to you game, it's just very fake and it's too calculated, and love is so much more than being there planning your next moves. authenticity. At the end of the day, just make it easy and be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone else you aren't, because at the end of the day, people will see through that. If your actions don't match your words, it's going to cause you big problems. And trust me, pretending won't make you attractive in the long run. People will probably just leave you when they realize you aren't what you say you are. It's tough, I know, but it's the truth. Keep it easy, just don't overcomplicate life. When you start revealing your true self and you progress on your self acceptance journey, you begin to let go of societal expectations. You start letting go of self imposed limits, and also you start letting go of things that you believe they were a certain way. This shedding, it's not just a metaphor. This is a real experience where you finally face who you truly are beneath all those roles and masks that you have worn to hide or to fit in over the years. Once you start dropping off this facade, your self-awareness naturally grows. This transformation helps you to live authentically, where your actions aren't just reactions of what is happening around, but they are deeply connected with your core values. This alignment will bring a massive inner peace and a satisfaction that others will notice. Your true self, once hidden, now shines through everything you do and decide. People just naturally like others who are genuine and real because that matches with their own desire for authenticity in their own lives. You want to attract people? Okay, then become a great listener. And yes, with this, I mean, don't interrupt others when they are talking. Do not try to shift the attention constantly towards you. You know what? It's not always about you, your great life experiences, the advice that you want to give. Sometimes you need to concentrate on what others say because there's a lot you can learn about others, because that's a humble way of interacting. What really attracts people is when you genuinely listen to them. And with this, I'm not saying be fake, force it. Truly care about what others are saying. It's obvious, but when you're interested in what others are saying, you're showing to them, yes, I care about you. Yes, what you're saying, it's important to me. It matters to me. And you know what? That makes a huge difference in a conversation. These days, everybody is trying to act like they don't care. They don't care about anyone just because like that, they protect themselves from being hurt. And I get it. Sometimes people hurt, and there's people you should even actively avoid. But honestly, the more you show kindness and care to others, the quicker you will find people you connect with. Remember, listening is key. Don't just be there waiting for others to finish so you can say your piece. Learn to enjoy hearing others instead of being there feeling this overwhelming anxiety to share your opinions. Conversations shouldn't be like, just relax. Let conversations flow naturally. Be positive. Yes, being positive is extremely attractive, but it has to be genuine. Forced positivity is very noticeable. So you notice when someone is way too serious, it makes you feel like running away from that person. It's kind of like cringy to be around a very serious person. So I don't know, let's imagine you have to go to a phone store to buy a new phone, or like a SIM card, or like an accessory, and the seller is very unfriendly, but you know that the next store is 1 hour away, and you are not gonna go 1 hour away just because the person in front of you is not being really friendly. So what do? You buy your thing, you're like, whatever, anyways, I hope I never see this person again in my whole life. But as harsh as it sounds, no one wants to be around someone negative, someone pessimist. Unless, of course, you are obliged because it's a work related relationship, because it's a family member, or because it's someone you fall in love with. And I know this sounds super twisted, but of course, like imagine it this way. Let's say I'm a mom and my daughter is pessimist or negative. It's going to be very hard for her to find friends. She's going to struggle a lot at school, but I will love her with all my heart. It's my daughter. So that's what I'm saying. That, but then if I don't know, I'm super keen to make new friends, I'm not gonna be prone to get close to someone who is like this. And if I talk to that person, it's like, oh, life is a nightmare. Oh, this world is lost. Oh, things used to be so amazing back in the day. Now the whole world is upside down. Like, oh, okay. Like people, I'm sorry, but people usually hear those people for 5 minutes and then they escape. Okay, but let's go back to positive energy. Positive energy, it's not about faking a smile. It's natural and it draws people to you like a magnet. Think of stress, for example, as a big cloud that lives on top of our head all day long. But as you go through your self-development journey, that cloud is going to start to fade away. You will slowly but surely learn to be very present, and you will learn how to face challenges with a calm demeanor. This decrease in stress, it's clearly noticeable probably to those around you. You have kind of this, you live with this permanent chill vibe. Yes, of course, there are things that will put you up and down, but for the majority of time, you will be, in a chill mood. And in today's fast-paced, very busy world, finding someone who resembles, who emanates this beautiful harmony, that is something extremely attractive. Your ability to handle life's ups and downs with ease, it's like a light in a tunnel. And with that light, you will be attracting those amazing people who look for those fresh, vibrant vibes. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others around you warm. So for this topic, I would like to share with you guys a story that comes from this amazing book called The Giving Tree. And this story expresses extremely clearly what happens when you act as a people pleaser. I bought this book for my daughter, and when I saw it, it's just like, I don't know, this book with kind of black and white, no colors, nothing. It did not call my attention at all. And funny enough, I left it there on her books box, and I never went through it until, I'm not joking, like 8 months later, when I was with my mom, and my mom came home. She started, coloring this book with my daughter, and because the book is in English and my mom doesn't speak English, she could understand the story through the drawings, but she wouldn't know if she was understanding the right thing. So she's like, can you translate this book to me, please? And When I started reading the book and I translated to her, I started crying and I couldn't finish it. I don't know, it triggered a lot of emotions to me that I wasn't expecting from a child's book. And I literally had to stop and I could not keep on reading the book. And then after, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I grabbed the book again and I finished reading it. But it really touched me, and that's why I was so eager to share it with you. Once there was a sweet boy named Arthur. He was just 7 years old and had to walk through a big forest every day to get to school. Arthur was the only kid in his family, so sometimes he felt pretty lonely on those walks. Now, let me tell you about this forest, and oh boy, it had something extraordinary. A massive, gorgeous tree. Arthur, that little boy, he adored spending time near this tree. And guess what? The feeling was mutual. That tree had a special place in its heart for Arthur. Every single day, without fail, Arthur would run over to visit the tree, clamber up its trunk, and swing on its branches. That wasn't just any old tree covered in leaves. It was a breathtaking, gorgeous apple tree. When it was apple season, Arthur couldn't get enough of those juicy apples. In the fall, Arthur enjoyed gathering leaves and fallen branches to build a cozy shelter. And when he got tired from running around the forest, he would cozy up under his favorite tree's shade and take a nap. Whenever Arthur felt lonely, he found comfort in hugging the tree. One time, after a rough day at school, he even carved a heart onto the tree and put their names on it. The tree was overshadowed by Arthur's love. But as Arthur grew older, his fondness for the tree started to fade to the point he ceased visiting altogether. Now the tree was left all alone in solitude. But one day the boy came back. He was 18 years old by then. The tree couldn't have been happier or more excited. "Come, boy, climb my trunk and play in my branches like in the good old days. Sleep under my shade and hug me," the tree invited warmly. But the boy, now grown, replied, "I'm big now. I need to make money. Can you give me money?" The tree gently explained, "Listen, I have no money, but you can take all my apples and sell them at the farmer's market. Then you will have money and you will be happy." The boy gathered up all the apples and left, and the tree felt content knowing it had helped him. The boy didn't show up again for the next 10 years, and the tree felt really sad. But then one day Arthur came back and the tree was over the moon with joy. "It's just you and me again," the tree exclaimed happily. "Come on, let's play," the tree urged excitedly. But the boy replied, "I'm too busy for that." Then he said, "I want a house so I can start my own family." The tree nodded understandably and said, "Sure thing. Take my branches and build your house. That will make you happy." So the boy took all the branches and went off, and the tree felt glad to have helped him again. But after all, the boy disappeared, this time for 40 long years. And when he finally returned, the tree couldn't believe its luck to see him again. Come and play," the tree urged eagerly. But the boy shook his head and said, "Sorry, I'm too old for that now." Then he added, "I want a boat that can take me somewhere else where I can be happy." "Cut down my trunk and build your boat," said the tree. So the boy did just that. The tree tried to feel happy for helping Arthur, but this time it was left feeling empty and drained. It couldn't dissimulate the numbness that had taken over. The tree was depleted of everything it once had. The boy left again. And this time the tree didn't even dare to hope to see him again. It felt utterly empty. But then 20 years later, the boy came back. The tree apologized, saying, "I'm sorry, I've nothing left to give you. I lost everything for you. I wish I could offer you something, but I have nothing left." Arthur replied, "I'm too tired. All I need is a calm place to rest." So Arthur sat down, and the tree felt happy again. So the central moral value of this story revolves around sacrificial love, and also that joy that comes from giving a lot without expecting anything back. I mean, that unconditional giving. This story invites us to reflect on the nature of relationships and that very delicate balance between giving and receiving. This could also be seen as a cautionary tale about the big consequences of self-sacrifice and one-way relationships. This book, called The Giving Tree, could be seen as a story of an abusive relationship, highlighting the mutual need for respect and appreciation, right? This idea of mutual giving rather than one-way giving. When I'm talking about sometimes one-way relationship, sacrificial love, giving too much, I'm talking about flaws in romantic relationships, friendships, work relationships. This is not related to parenting, because when you have kids, it's especially on all the first years, it's all about giving and giving and giving. You receive too, but it's a massive giving. But yes, in this video, I don't want to get into that role of parenting. I just want to focus on attraction relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, and all that jazz. I really like this story because it touches some of the main topics of this whole channel. And yes, I will say that this story talks about unconditional love, greediness, getting what you want and still not being satisfied, feeling unwanted, and abandonment. High vibration. Okay, so I will call this part of the video as keep yourself at a high vibration level. Okay, so think of your thoughts and feelings as big waves of energy. When you start treating yourself with more respect, these waves will start raising at a much higher vibration level. And this positive energy doesn't just affect you. It spreads out like ripples in a pond. Other people can feel it too, even if they don't consciously understand it, or even if they cannot physically see any difference. This higher energy acts like a big magnet, attracting great people to the warmth and positive vibes that you are putting out. The main message I want to highlight from this whole video is that you don't have to chase after others. Just be yourself and you will naturally attract the right people for you. And with this, I need to be very clear, because sometimes the right people for you are people who are going to make you feel uncomfortable, who are going to challenge you, who are going to feel you certain bad feelings. But those people also are amazing because they teach you a lot. The right people are not just those people who make you feel great and who tell you how special and unique you are. Amazing people are the people who teach you the biggest lessons in life. And sometimes, unfortunately, We learn the biggest lessons when we are forced to do things we don't want by others, when we are pushed forwards aggressively. And sometimes those things are, and those people are the ones who take the best out of us. If you find yourself chasing after others, it's simple. It's because your self-confidence levels are low. And to be able to change this, you need to acknowledge that your confidence is not where it should be. This could be because of a very tough childhood, or because you have been growing up seeing very messed up roles and you learned how to go through life through those messed up roles. So if you would like to improve the relationship you have with yourself, so if you want to improve your quality of life, these two videos will help hugely with that.